Simon, it's become a bit of a pattern, but you need to bounce back this week.
Yeah, we do. We need to continue to build the habits required to play consistent footy, and that's what we're working really hard on as a footy club. Our coaches are working extremely hard, and so are the players. So I know the players were hurting a lot after the weekend and really want to respond and play a really strong brand of footy and head up to Alice and play the way that we know we can play.
Is there some frustration there with the up and down nature of things at the moment?
I've said it a few times that we're a developing team, and with that comes a little bit of frustration because I think all our supporters and everyone within the club sees what we're capable of. But it's building those right habits from week to week that are going to sustain us over a period of time, and that's what we're working really hard on producing. And although it's frustrating, all we can do is keep chipping away and trying to build that internally.
Slow starts, have you put your finger on that?
Not really. It's something that we're aware of. We've probably had a couple of games this year where we've started slowly, but we've also had periods in games where we've also had poor quarters. So it's something that we'll monitor and we'll tinker with a few little things in our preparation, but it is something that we're aware of.
What about heading up to Alice? You haven't won up there as a club yet. Is there something you need to adjust there to try and get the result?
No, we love playing up in the Northern Territory. We play a game in Alice and a game in Darwin, and the last couple of years haven't been great for us. But the boys are really aware of the environment. We're going to travel up on Friday, go in and play the best brand of footy we can on Saturday and come home. So we see it potentially as an advantage playing a couple of games in the Northern Territory and trying to use that over the long term.
You travel well to Adelaide, is that something you could take to that?
Yeah, I think it's come at a great time. Our travel in the last couple of years has been very good, and the players certainly enjoy getting away together. And I think when you come off a poor result as a club, the chance to get together and travel together and try and come away with the result is really important for us.
Gold Coast are obviously coming off the trip to China, but then also a week off. Does that sort of balance that out, I suppose? Do you see a bit of an advantage with them having that week off at this point of the season?
Oh, they're well rested. They've had their bye, so they've had plenty of time to prepare for this game. So we expect them to respond from their performance in China. So we're looking forward to it. We're coming off a short break and looking forward to getting back out there and playing well, and I'm sure it'll be a pretty good game.
You have at least one forced change with Salem out. Someone like Jake Melksham put his hand up after playing pretty well in the VFL.
Yeah, we had some really strong performances in the VFL on the weekend. Jake Melksham, Alex Neil-Bullen, James Harms, Ben Kennedy, they all put their hand up and played some really strong footy, so which is great for us. It gives us a few selection options heading into this week.
Are you a bit disappointed with Christian with getting suspended?
We certainly don't like our players getting suspended. We want to make sure we play within the rules, and Christian knew that he's made a mistake and got it wrong. So he'll learn from that, and we'll continue to grow as a team.
Are you happy with the crackdown on the punching and all that type of situation?
I'm happy with whatever the AFL decide to do. So if they decide that that's not good for the game, then that's not good for the game. And players need to play within the rules, and I think they've made it really clear that they don't like the look of it. And I agree with them, and we need to get it out of our game.
Seems to be a bit of aggression overall in that game. Do you sort of see that as just an isolated thing, or are you sort of encouraging your players to play on the edge a bit?
I just think that game was a pretty fierce contest game. There was a little bit of niggle in it, and I think both teams handled it extremely well. And it was two teams that were really keen to perform well, and to North Melbourne's credit, I thought they played extremely well.
Another job for Bernie this week on Gazza?
Oh, look, it's something we'll assess later today. We're sort of not a club that tags every week, so we'll take it week by week. But there's no doubt Gary's a really important player to him, and he's a really high-end talent that's done it for a number of years. So he's someone that we'll certainly keep a close eye on.
How's Max Gawn coming along? Is he coming back a little bit earlier than expected?
He's on track, to play, after the bye at some point. Whether it's the West Coast game or the Western Bulldogs game, we'll wait and see. But he's tracking extremely well. He's doing a lot of running and conditioning, and to his own words, he's in pretty good shape.
Would he have to go through the VFL or just come straight back in?
Oh, look, we'll assess that once we see. But what he's doing at the moment, you'd assume that he's going to come straight back in. He's a high-quality player that plays a pretty unique position, and is doing a hell of a lot of running and conditioning at the moment.
What do you make of your ruck situation? You've obviously still been pretty good in clearances, but maybe Goldstein was pretty influential last week.
Yeah, look, as I said, we've seen this as an opportunity to grow our team. Clearly, we're not going to win a lot of hit-outs. We haven't got the the ruckman and the capability to do that. So I thought our midfielders have done a great job, but Goldstein was outstanding last week. So it's something we've got to keep, dealing with, but it's something that we've got. So we're not going to sit here and say, oh, poor us, we haven't got a ruckman. That's what we've got, and we've got to find a way to get it done.
Gold Coast, you get a lot of your scores off of clearances. Do you have to place an emphasis on a different area of the ground, seeing as Gold Coast is the top set of clearances team in the comp?
Something that we feel like we're quite strong at is winning the ball at the contest. So stoppages is one of those areas that we feel we do get an advantage and we do get some scoring from. So we'll keep focusing on that. We won't change our game the way we play to counter potentially the opposition.
Given what you've shown you are capable of, games like the Adelaide game, do you think on balance you've underachieved a bit as a team so far this year?
I don't think we've underachieved. I think we're in line with what we're working towards as a group. We're a developing team that's continuing to build the right habits. We've had some things of injury, suspensions and a whole range of things that have been in some ways great for the footy club to go through. We've gone through some adversity, we've gone through some inconsistencies, but what I do know is when we get through this little period and we get our players back and performing to a really high level, that we're going to see enormous growth in this team and this footy club.
How's Jesse tracking, and do we expect him to see back around the club soon?
Yeah, he's having a week away, Jess, just a bit of R&R with his family and recovering, so he'll be back at the club next week and getting back into some training, and he'll play when he's ready to play.
Angus Brayshaw.
Angus is, it's been reported that he's indefinite. That's incorrect. We're taking a week-by-week approach with Angus, and whether that's 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, we're not sure. But he's tracking extremely well. He's back doing some training and some running, and we'll get him back to his best as quick as we can.
Have you spoken to him much, and how's he sort of holding up mentally after? It must be really frustrating for him, I suppose.
Oh, he's extremely positive about his pathway forward and getting back to playing some good footy. So he's in a great mindset. Clearly, as a club, we've got a responsibility to build him up slowly and build his confidence back and make sure that he's got the right technique heading into games. So that's our responsibility as a footy club, but he's a very positive mindset about what he wants to do in the back half of the year.